The calculation tool lets you calculate estimates of the amount of duties and taxes that possibly have to be paid for your goods. The service also shows you which measures and codes have to be declared in the customs declaration. The calculation section is divided into 8 different parts. The general principle is that the necessary information is filled in each part, after which you click Next, which takes you to the next part to be filled in. Not all commodity codes require that all parts be filled in. In this case, the unnecessary parts are not shown when you fill in the information, they are only visible in the sidebar to the left. There are 3 different activity buttons at the bottom of the page: Previous, Clear All, and Next. Click Previous to go to the previous part of the calculation, for example, from customs value to commodity. Click Next to go to the next part. Clear All clears all the selections and data entered. If the button is grey, this activity is not possible. Next, an example of how to use the calculation tool. In the commodity part, first choose Import or Export. Today's date is pre-selected. Don't change it. If you know the commodity code, enter it here. If you don't know the commodity code, find the right code using the magnifying glass and press the blue arrow. Now click Calculate this commodity and you will return to the calculation section with the selected commodity code. Select Country and click Next. In this part, first enter the customs value that is based on the price generally payable for the goods. The customs value also includes the transport costs, for example, up to the first point of entry in the EU. Enter the net weight, that is, the weight of the goods. If the consignment involves other expenses, such as insurances, enter this sum under Incidental Expenses. The pre-selected value 100 under Preference should not be changed, because we are not applying for preferential treatment in this example. More information on preferential treatments can be found on the tulli.fi website. Then click Next. In the part VAT Code Quota, you can select the right VAT code from the drop-down menu. If there is a quota for preferential treatment to be selected for the commodity code, choose from the drop-down menu. Click Next. Note that the service now has skipped 2 parts that do not need to be filled in. In the Result part, you can see an estimate of the amount of taxes to be levied, as well as other information about the commodity code. The calculation tool also contains other parts that were skipped in this example. These are additional codes, mersing codes, certificates, and amounts of goods. Let's go through them quickly. If the commodity code requires an additional code for customs clearance, the service opens the part for additional codes. In this part, you can see several alternatives, of which you may choose one or more. The selected additional codes affect the restrictions and the amount of taxes to be levied. You can find more information about the additional codes in the Goods Tree section. In this example, the selling company is not listed, so select A999 Other. If the commodity code requires certificates for the customs clearance, the part Certificates is opened. You can see several alternatives, of which you may choose one or more. The alternatives are grouped according to measures, and there is more specific information above the measure in question. The selected additional codes affect the restrictions and the amount of taxes to be levied. In this example, the imported horses are not subject to the CITES Convention. Therefore, select the certificate code Y900. And since the regulation on organic products is not applied on horses, select the code Y929. If the commodity code requires that amounts are provided for the customs clearance, the part Amounts of Goods is opened. The system automatically tells you which measurement unit should be used. In this example, enter the number of watches.